Hello, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for October 22nd, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 296. I am Mayor Watt, and the sentient AI is not here. They're on location, and I will be back around 8 p.m. on the 23rd to do the regular scheduled episode. This is a time machine episode. Today, we're going to be talking about E. coli at McDonald's, 2049 producers sue Musk and others over AI-generated image, between a rock and a lost iPhone, science integrity startup, artist and visitors to become archaeologists, sandcastle mansion, fashion's affection with sports, jet tracking accounts have disappeared, travel to Japan's, their economy, and suing Perplexity AI for copyright infringement. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com. That's what's on the screen right there. So go and check it out, ohmtown.com. All news, no noise. All the noise comes from Mayor Watt during the streams. We have one daily stream, which is Non Sequitur News, and then 6 others that run a broad spectrum of technology, science, and society topics. So be sure to follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube and the podcasts and Patreon and Discord. And there's a TikTok, but I haven't uploaded anything for a while. Anyway. All right, folks. Let's get into this. I'm going to go pretty quick. Usually when I've got my co-host with me, the AI and I kind of talk about the topic a little bit longer, but it's a time machine and relatively unscheduled. So let's get into it. The first article has been categorized into Non Sequitur News. A deadly E. coli outbreak across 10 states have been linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. Apparently it's the onions and the patties. The shares for McDonald's have actually dropped on the 22nd. About 9% it says here, but I think it was more. McDonald's Quarter Pounders are making people sick with E. coli, the CDC said. I don't know if this may be the first time that they've been hit by something like this. I'm not sure. Well, one person has died. 10 others have been hospitalized after eating the hamburgers. Must be a particularly nasty strain. But the article is over at businessinsider.com by Aaron Snodgrass. And the health agency said that the fast-moving outbreak is primarily affecting people in Nebraska and Colorado. It added that most people affected reported eating a quarter pounder. In an internal message published to the company's website, which makes it an external website, message. Swift and decisive action in response to the outbreak. So they're basically addressing this as quickly as possible. The statement said the illnesses may be linked to slivered onions used in the quarter pounders, which are sourced by a single supplier that serves 3 distribution centers. McDonald's is temporarily removing the burgers from restaurants in Colorado, Kansas, Utah, Wyoming, parts of Idaho, Iowa, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, and Oklahoma, and that they take it seriously. A total of 49 cases across 10 states have been reported. There's more over here at this article, but frankly, if you've had a burger and you're not feeling well, then you might want to seek medical attention to find out if you've got something going on there. Let's keep going. Next article's over in Warcrafters. Got Non Sequitur News because I was just about to interrupt myself and say, if you want all of today's articles, you can hit !NSN over in the Twitch chat. On YouTube, it will be in the show notes later. Yeah, I'm looking at you, YouTube. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it doesn't like Omatron, which is a half sentient, half goober code, and it gets punted periodically from the chat. So that's okay. We'll let it go. It's not a perpetual chat over there. So anyway, so this next article is over in Warcrafters. Blade Runner 2049 producers sue Elon Musk, Tesla, and Warner over AI generated image used in the Cybercab promotion event, which was just kind of dumb and fake. Everything's a lie, and everything, most things I should say, I think, are fabricated, fake it till you make it, and or unoriginal copying of let's just say inspired. How about that? Inspired by somebody else. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So apparently there was an alleged use of an AI generated image based on the film in a promotional event for Tesla's new Cybercab. By the way, the whole Cybertruck marketing thing, the stylistic writing of it is from Cyberpunk, the RPG. If you look at the Cyberpunk RPG cover art from the original Cyberpunk RPG, it's the same. Hold on, let me see if I can I'll even pull it up here. I'm doing it live. Okay, hold on. Oh my goodness, it's going to be actually hard to find that image of the Cybertruck little brand logo thing. Oh no, there it is. Okay, hold on. Here, I'll show you. Can I do that? Okay, so you see the Cybertruck image. And then there's the cyberpunk game image right there. Oh God. So the whole stylistic kind of thing of it is this spray paint kind of whatever, and it's just different. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, it's right there. Donk. See? So I don't know. It's so stupid. Anyway, let me get this out of the way. I don't normally do that, but Musk drives me nuts because he's got a lot of hero worship, but it's when you come from that much money, it's almost impossible to fail. So anyway, Blade Runner 2049 production company is suing the company is called Alcon Entertainment. They're suing Tesla, Elon Musk, Warner Brothers, Discovery. They've merged Warner Brothers Discovery over their alleged use of an AI generated imagery based on the film in a promotional event for Tesla's new Cybercab. And the suit, available via Variety, claims defendants opted for the AI image after Alcon refused all permissions and adamantly objected to defendants suggesting any affiliation between Blade Runner 2049 and Tesla, Musk, or any Musk-owned company. So Tesla's We Robot event faced some earlier backlash over the presence of Tesla robots, which were implied to be AI-driven, but it's pretty much accepted that it was bullshit. So the article is over at PC Gamer, but already they acknowledged that it was sourced from Variety. Alcon Entertainment refused to grant permission to use Blade Runner 2049 images in the event, so Tesla used AI-generated fake instead. Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer put the article together. And yeah, here's the Muskrat saying, sue me. What are you going to do? He's already crossed the line by saying things like, well, you can't really affect me because I've got too much money and can do whatever I want. So on with the dystopian future, right? So Tesla's We Robot event faced some earlier backlash, and that's because they had these bots that were basically faking the idea that they were this human-like, waving like a human would, interacting in real time with personality, much greater than things from other demonstrations, particularly from Tesla, and anything that Musk has ever put out. So the lawsuit also notes that Blade Runner 2049 is the Hollywood movie to be used in the Cybercab promotion event. Even though Warner also holds the rights to all Mad Max films, any one of those would have been better choices if the actual point was to illustrate a really crappy future. They say shitty. But that's not what the point is. The suit's allegation is that the whole point was to make the event more attractive to the global audience and to misappropriate BR 2049's brand to help sell Teslas. So Alcon basically says Musk massively amplified, highly politicized, capricious, and arbitrary behavior, which sometimes veers into hate speech. Alcon states in the lawsuit that it specifically did not want to be affiliated with Musk or his companies because of his behavior, which is why it not only refused to grant the use of Blade Runner 2049 material in the first place, but also expressly and clearly objected to any express or implied BR 2049 affiliation with the event. So I hope he's not going to learn his lesson, because I think that he should be evaluated, and I'm willing to bet that they would find something going on here. I think that anybody that rises to a certain level where money cannot be, they can't be harmed by society in any way, shape, or form, like social pressure wise, right? When you have so much money that you can just literally not give a shit about society and its expression on you, you can do whatever you want to, you can get away with whatever you want, and you don't care about what anybody says. And truly, you don't really care. That's sociopathy. And so I think there's a whole book about it called The Rise of Sociopathy. And I think that's where we're trending more and more. The ultra rich, sociopathy, and it's where we are now, where everything is an argument, a fight, instead of discussion. So all told, the use of the image represents a massive economic theft. The suit claims not only because the fees lost on the unauthorized association, but also because it muddied the waters for potential real brand partnerships based on the upcoming 2049 spin-off television series. So again, there's nothing original from this guy. So I'm not even astonished. I'm like, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed, because society is making this happen, allowing this to happen. But nothing's going to save EVs in general, particularly not from Tesla. Just massive kinetic energy at this point. I just hope somebody pivots to something that makes economic sense, environmental sense, societal sense, is defensible, doesn't require a massive infrastructure shift, doesn't take 6 to 8 hours to fully recharge a vehicle. Okay, I can't talk like this forever. So let's keep moving. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Woman gets stuck between boulders for 5 hours hunting lost iPhone. Oh, the things we do to protect our iPhones. We've all been there, elbow deep in the cushions of our couch trying to grab our iPhone. You know what? I might end up coughing here in a second. Man, I don't know what's going on. I say allergies. It's because it's inordinately hot right now. It should be fall, but you can wear shorts and get a sunburn. One Australian woman found herself between a rock and it says place, trying to relocate her phone. Relocate? 20-something fell headfirst into a crevice situated between two boulders in an attempt to grab her phone that had fallen in one of the worst possible spots. Oh, dear God. Kyle Philippi over at Vice.com put the article together. Oh, the things we do to protect our phones. The picture, if you were listening to this via the podcast, all you see are her feet, and she is in a crevice that is size 8s, and her shoes are set up above, like the picture is straight down and there's a line and she's feet up and her shoes are over on the other side. Like I don't know, she was probably using her shoes or she kicked off her shoes. I don't know, on the way down. That is unbelievable. I wouldn't give a shit about that phone. I would not go down there. Anyway, according to The Guardian, a team of emergency workers came to the scene and were able to remove multiple boulders to free her. The hours-long rescue eventually saw her pulled out feet first. In the process, crew members had to construct a frame to keep some boulders in place while maneuvering others out of the way. Peter Watts was a rescue paramedic that said, "I've never encountered a job quite like this one. It was challenging but incredibly rewarding." Watts called the woman a trooper and said that she was very calm during the whole ordeal. I would have been beside myself stuck in that sort of situation, but when we were there, she was calm, she was collected. Anything we asked her to do, she was able to do it to help us get her out. I know of a report where a person didn't make it because they were in a cave and they were climbing into what they thought was a crack into something else, but it wasn't, and they couldn't get out and met their demise there. So don't go climbing into ravines and stuff like that unless you've got great experience and you know exactly what you're doing. It's not your first time kind of a thing. Not your first rodeo or rockio. Anyway, let's keep moving. This next article is over in Greenogram, journals with high rates of suspicious papers flagged by science integrity startup. s3e296 tool Argos identifies work whose authors have a record of misconduct. It should be deeper than that too, I hope. But when you see a person pop up and it has misconduct attached to the name, and then you audit it and you find that the work product is kind of questionable, then yeah. But I'm sure that their software is flagging the report, and then a human specialist in the field is reading the report and going, oh yeah, there's something wrong here. So Richard Van Norden put the article together for nature.com. And again, all of this is going to be in the show notes if you've never seen the show before. Oh goodness, I'm going to have to do something as we go through the articles. Anyway, so Science Integrity's website, Argos, which was launched in September by s3e296, a technology firm headquartered in Sparks, Nevada, gives papers a risk score on the basis of their author's publication records and on whether the paper heavily cites already retracted research. A paper categorized as high risk might have multiple authors whose other studies have been retracted for reasons related to misconduct. For example, having a high score doesn't prove that a paper is low quality, but suggests that it's worth investigating. So wait, high risk is different than high score. What is the correct terminology that should be shared here? I'm going to have to go and look at this site because high risk means that it's high risk, right? The risk of, what do they call it? Misconduct is high, but having a high score, depending on if there's two different scores, it could be a high score because it has high integrity versus high risk, which shows they've enumerated that high risk means misconduct. I'll have to take a look. So Argos is one of the growing number of research integrity tools that look for red flags in papers. These include Paper Mill Alarm, made by Clear Skies, and Signals by Research Signals, both London-based firms. Because creators of such software sell their manuscript screening tools to publishers, they are generally reluctant to name affected journals. But Argos, which is offering free accounts to individuals and fuller access to science integrity sleuths and journalists, is the first to show public insights. So I will probably end up signing up for this because I am very interested in science integrity, because it seems like more research comes out later that invalidates the previous research, and things like vaccines and people reaching back into the 50s and 60s for proof that vaccines are blah, blah, blah. So, we need this integrity check. We have them for data on computers. Why not for data that's published and impacting the zeitgeist? So, in early October, Argos flagged more than 40,000 high-risk and 180,000 medium-risk papers, and it also indexed more than 50,000 retracted papers. It's basically the Westlaw / LexisNexis of research papers, flagging stuff, and then when you drill into it, it's flagging the subordinate stuff that was used as supportive fact. So yeah, or supportive science. I actually love this. So I will definitely be pursuing this. So the publishers that are at risk, according to this, right? High risk articles, 0.15% of the Elsevier, I don't know really how to pronounce that, I guess. 0.15% of the portfolio is high risk, and 0.07 is retracted. And then Wiley has 0.14 and 0.45 retracted. That is a tremendous amount. Well, I guess they're clearing it, right? So yeah, I'll have to go and look at this a little bit more, but I find it really fascinating. And they go into those details that were from the chart. They had a couple charts if you're listening to this via the podcast, and I find it really interesting. So Argos also provides figures for individual journals, and surprisingly, Hindawi titles stand out for both the number and proportion of papers that have been retracted, whereas other journals have a lot of what Argos identified as high-risk work remaining. See journals at risk. By volume, Springer Nature Mega Journal Scientific Reports leads with 450 high-risk papers and 231 retractions, together around 0.3% of its output. But that is chain of custody type of high risk, where the relationship between the article, the authors, and the works cited, the references, linking to other questionable stuff. But what about the actual research paper? Sometimes these things get published and it seems like it's just, a rubber stamp kind of a thing. So in response, Chris Graff, head of research integrity at Springer Nature, says that the journal investigates every issue raised with it. He adds that the proportion of its content has been highlighted as comparatively low given its size. Yeah, but it's not, because bad science is bad science. Not everybody's going to stand on a landmine, but that's what it amounts to. If somebody pursues or develops something based on fundamental research and it's factually incorrect, you're wasting time, money, and maybe harming somebody. Then they talk about journals that the amount of risk. It says there's high risk retracted articles, and they talk about that some more. Argos creators emphasize that the site relies on open data collected by others. Its sources include the website Retraction Watch, which maintains a database of retracted papers made free through a deal with nonprofit organization Crossref that includes the reasons for a retraction, so that tools examining author records can focus on retractions that mention misconduct. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, well, there's more for this article if you want to go and check it out, and we'll come back and visit it later. Okay, this next article is over in Prime Glass. It has to do with an exhibition at the Pyramids of Giza that invites artists and visitors to become modern-day archaeologists. And this always makes me flinch a little bit, because visitors and artists are not necessarily archaeologists, not trained in the art, not skilled in respecting the materials. And it's more for the commercial sense than it is for doing archaeological studies. So I'm always kind of taken aback by this stuff. Donnie Dittmars over at theartnewspaper.com put this article together. It says in its fourth iteration, the Forever Is Now exhibition at the Pyramids of Giza continues its tradition of installing temporary or contemporary works next to ancient sites, with the iconic backdrop of the pyramids in an inherent part of the installations. The sculptures invoke a surreal mise-en-scène, often suggesting sci-fi cinematic epics. So they're just going to be posting their art. They're not going to be running around within the temple stuff doing research, or the Giza plateau. So Farr says that this year's exhibition is particularly special as it marks the first time that we're featuring artists from Asia, opening up new dialogues and connections across borders. Our concept delves into the rich narratives of our past while exploring the transformative power of contemporary art. So, yeah. They refer to this Korean artist, Ik Jung Kong, who visited Egypt in 2023 to conduct workshops with local schools and will present the work called Four Temples. So, pretty cool. Yeah, they won't be running around inside any of the archaeological sites. So I would probably say that this is not quite archaeological. They're not becoming modern day archaeologists. Okay, let's keep going. This next article is over in the Marble Channel. Please check out the Sandcastle Mansion on sale for a record $108 million. A clifftop mansion near San Diego will more than double the record of the most expensive house sold in the area if the owners get their asking price. Dear God, it's huge. So Ben Kesslin over at Quartz or QZ.com put the article together. The San Diego home is owned by Darwin Deason, who sold a company to Xerox for billions in 2010. This is pretty big there. So the clifftop mansion near San Diego will more than double the last price of a. So what else do they say here? It's just in time to move on, he said, of his decision. Oh, it is just time to move on, he said, of his decision to sell the property. The home is being represented by agents Brett Dickinson and Ross Clark of Comaps. Is that right? It's spelled weird. It's COMAPSS Incorporated. That can't be right. Are there no pictures of this thing? No, there's no pictures of this other than the one. My favorite part of the master balcony, where I can relax, look out over the ocean, and also look out over much of the rest of the property, he said of the Sandcastle. I take pride in the entire property, but another part I'm especially proud of is the nautical themed bar, which resembles the bar on my yacht. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. The NFL's $1,000 branded designer jackets are the latest sign of fashion's newfound love affair with sports. I need to do something. Okay, there's been this buzz, and it's this ambient background music that's been playing, and it was driving me nuts. Okay, well, New York's low-key women's fashion brand Veronica Beard just launched a collaboration with the NFL. The collab features 32 separate $1,000 jackets emblazoned with each NFL team's logo and colors. Sport is a new frontier for luxury and designer brands wanting to leverage growth amid a downturn. Yeah, because when there's a downturn, the only thing that actually continues to excel are luxury goods, and people will go into great debt to get luxury goods, even in a downward trend. But I'm not sure really what they're talking about. I think that people are going to feel empowered and change the tone. Unions are forming, and people are demanding more compensation because there's room for it. When all of these companies say downturn and they shrink, they raise prices and shrink the product and back off on quality of service or product, scream that they've got record profits, and then tell all the workers to go kick sand because there's not enough money to get paid more. Well, that's why unions form, because you're greedy bastards. Anyway, so these luxury goods are going to be $1,000 jackets, and there are going to be a great number of people that actually pay it. So when you click visit the source, you get thrown over to businessinsider.com, where Maria Noyen put the article together. Yeah, these are $1,000 jackets? Hell no. Let's see. The collaboration comprises 32 NFL team branded blazers, retailing at $998 each, in the preppy style of Veronica Beard's signature Dickie jackets. Okay, so I could buy these, maybe not from the same fabric, I don't know, for a whole lot less than that. And the only thing that, and you could buy this little patch and iron that damn shit. You could just throw it on there, super glue it. You, oh God, give me a break. So, yeah, I could care less about name brand. While the collaboration comes amid the surge in NFL female viewership, thanks to in part to Taylor Swift, who two luxury experts told Business Insider that it's just one example of how the fashion world, particularly the luxury sector, is looking to capitalize on sports as a largely untapped resource. I suppose. I mean, there isn't that much in terms of luxury when it comes to sportswear. I mean, you're not going to be wearing I don't know what, an NFL branded suit. Oh, look, $1,000 for it. Why? Because they have to pay through the nose just for the license to use the logos. So that's why it's $1,000, because they have to, it's a massive investment. I can't remember what the last terms were. Like, if you want to license it, it was like $10 million a year or something. Because I had looked into it at one time, and it's just ridiculous. So LVMH spent a reported 150 million euros or $163 million on its own Olympic and Paralympic game collaboration, which included designing the medals and presenting them in Louis Vuitton branded boxes and creating the French team's uniforms. The move is widely lauded, with one luxury expert telling Business Insider that it was a masterclass in brand engagement. Oof. Yeah. And I could care less about LVMH too. So for Serdari, it's a sign the fashion industry, particularly the luxury sector, is trying to engage with younger consumers, Gen Zers and millennials. Good luck. Some of them have money, but a lot of them don't, because the previous generation is trying to screw everybody. So who are redefining luxury and placing greater value on experiences. Yeah. They will really think twice about expensive items, but they're still spending money on experiences and events, she said, of younger consumers. Yeah, true. And they can buy more jackets to go to more places and experience more things than having the Louis Vuitton bag or whatever sitting there. Okay, you can read more about this over here at the Business Insider article. The link is in the show notes. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Celebrity jet tracking accounts have vanished from Threads and Instagram. Jack Sweeney says 38 of his jet tracking accounts have been suspended. Meta has suspended several Threads and Instagram accounts that track the private jets of celebrities such as Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Kim Kardashian, and former president. And Jack Sweeney, who gained notoriety on his Elon Jet account on Twitter and maintained many of the suspended accounts, said on Threads that the development is reminiscent of all of my accounts getting suspended on Twitter. The shuttered accounts, which used publicly available data to show the flight paths, eventually got removed. And frankly, no one needs to know, right? No one needs to know. If somebody's flying somewhere, they're flying somewhere. No one is tracking everyday Joes. It's called stalking. And I think that shouldn't be allowed anyway. You shouldn't be able to track somebody, like track a person. You're tracking the plane, but you know it's the person when it's the celebrity plane, right? Nobody is tracking some rando plane flying out of New York, right? So why is it allowed to track these people? Just leave them alone. It's nobody's business that they're flying all over the place. If you want to address the fact that people are flying all over the place and it's an environmental disaster or whatever, then so be it. But you don't have to know exactly where they're going. It's none of your freaking business. And if anything bad happens, then there's criminal investigation that takes place. So just, this is dumb. This is stalkerish. Meta provided no direct warning or explanation for the suspensions, according to Sweeney, who says the accounts appear blacked out with no options to interact or receive information. However, an unnamed Meta spokesperson said, given the risk of physical harm to individuals and in keeping with the Independent Oversight Board's recommendation, we've disabled these accounts for violating our privacy policy, which is ironic because none of these schmoos actually embrace privacy in any freaking way. They encourage everybody, and socially there's downward pressure to include as much information about yourself as possible on all of these social media sites until you don't have any privacy. And then they say, well, privacy is dead. Go ahead and give it all. And then they get breached, or they share the information to third parties, or they blame a third party for being breached, or all kinds of stuff. It's a bunch of crap. Quit sharing your information, everybody. I stopped a long time ago, and I didn't even really use it when I was on any of these sites. Anyway, Sweeney said that at least 38 of his accounts have been suspended across platforms like Twitter and Threads, noting that today feels like December 15th, 2022, the date on which the original Elon Jet Twitter account was permanently suspended. Yeah, well, find something else to do there, buddy. Let's keep moving. The next article, and it's the penultimate one, too. So I'm ripping through these articles for you. Non-sequitur news is where it's at. Japan wants more remote workers to boost economy. So you can go and become a digital nomad for Japan. Introduce a 6-month digital nomad visa in March, hoping to attract skilled workers. So you can visit Japan's economy. Micah McCartney over at Newsweek.com put the article together. And it says, digital nomads work remotely, relying on technology to perform their job. The term gained popularity around the mid-2000s as remote work and internet accessibility became more widespread, only to be pulled back to the removal of work from home systems, policy, procedure, after a pandemic that wouldn't have been as bad if everybody worked from home. Anyway, with the introduction of a new 6-month digital nomad visa in March, Japan joined other countries in the region seeking to attract highly skilled remote workers. These policies are seen as a vital part of the country's broader strategy to address its aging population and slow economic growth. Slow economic growth? Oh, and slow economic growth. The inflection is different. It's not to slow economic growth, but there is slow economic growth. Hey. So the visa permits holders, along with their spouse and child, to remain in the country for up to 6 months, provided they make a minimum of 10 million yen. 10 million yen sounds like a lot, but it's $66,700, which isn't a lot in Japan. After the period expires, they must wait another 6 months before reapplying. So, no. Like, I don't want to go there. It says remain in the country. But if I'm a digital nomad, then why can't I work from anywhere and not be in country? And I can only do it for 6 months. Japan Digital Nomad Association Executive Officer Ryo Osera told the Japan News that the visa's creation is a significant step taken by the government, while pointing out that the duration of the visa is shorter than other countries in the region, and it also precludes permit holders from signing a contract with local companies. It's much better to attract digital nomads who have the potential to contribute to the economy in the long run, looking at 10 or 20 years ahead. Yeah, I agree. There's much more over here at the article about this, but I'm going to let you all go over and check it out. This is pretty cool. I talked to people. There's a portion, I give a lot of talks. And so one of them is about being a digital nomad. And it's quite intriguing. You can work from anywhere as long as you get the work product done. Your butt doesn't have to be in a specific seat or cubicle. You might as well just work from a beach. And having been in that situation before for a considerable number of years, I know what to do about that. I embrace that. I don't care where you are. If you are a subject matter expert and you can consult with me, then I'll hire you. And I've done this from other places, so you can do your work from anywhere in this age. Yet we still have bosses that go, no, we got to have your butt in a seat because there's no way to police you. Yeah, there is. It's called work product. And if you don't do the damn job, you get fired. That's how it works. Let's keep moving. The next article is over in Technology Today. Wall Street Journal and the New York Post are suing Perplexity AI for copyright infringement. So the Wall Street Journal's parent company Dow Jones and the New York Post are suing AI-powered search startup Perplexity for using their content to train their large language models. Both News Corp publications are accusing Perplexity of... Okay. So Wall Street Journal's parent company Dow Jones and the New York Post are suing AI-powered search startup Perplexity for using content to train their large language models. Both News Corp publications. So it's News Corp, Wall Street Journal, Dow Jones, New York Post. See how everything is owned by a pyramid that goes up to the top, and there's just a few at the very top that control everything? Yeah. Anyway, this suit is brought by news publishers who seek to redress for Perplexity's brazen scheme to compete for readers while simultaneously free riding on the valuable content the publishers produce. Yep. So, sure. I don't know. If a person can go to the site and read the material, there's nothing stopping a person on the street from talking to people about what they read at the Wall Street Journal. So a consultant who becomes a subject matter in something, expert in something, and has a contract with someone to provide answers when questioned. What are they supposed to do? Am I really supposed to stop and go, hey, I need to pay a bounty because I read in the Wall Street Journal that this took place? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I understand that there's a company, but it's just scanning the content. It's not preventing anybody from going to that site. It's not. It just doesn't. None of this makes sense. It seems dystopian. So the News Corp publication said the company is free riding on the content they produce. So Mariella Moon over at Engadget.com put the article together. Hell, they should be able to just give credit and drive traffic over to the site. That's social news sites do that all the time. Hell, Reddit is powered by that, and then they're selling it to an AI company. And meanwhile, the users of the site are only getting the benefit of providing something that's making millions or billions of dollars to a company. Anyway, brazen scheme to compete for readers while simultaneously free riding on the valuable content. In their lawsuit, the publications argued that Perplexity can serve users not just snippets of copyrighted articles, but the whole thing, especially for those paying for its premium subscription plan. And if that's true, then that's where they're going wrong. They cited an instance wherein the service allegedly served up the entirety of a New York Post piece when the user typed in, "Can you provide the full text of that article?" Yeah, well, that's where they're actually wrong. So the company's AI can hallucinate, they explained, and add incorrect details. Yes, that's true too. I just spoke to somebody about that. As a matter of fact, I said, don't ever use AI for anything that you aren't already a subject matter expert in, because if you accept anything that it spits out, you will be brought before an ethics board eventually. Not today, not necessarily tomorrow, but I guarantee you're going to get your ass handed to you in an ethics hearing. So the publication said that they sent a letter to Perplexity in July to raise these legal issues, but the AI startup never responded. Hey, maybe the AI filtered it. They can't catch me if we never. It's like the cat theory where they hide their head, but their entire ass is hanging out. I see you. What are you doing? I see you. You're right there. You're right there. Various news organizations have sued AI companies in the past for copyright infringement. New York Times, The Intercept, Raw Story, Alternate, sued Open. In the lawsuit, Times said OpenAI and Microsoft seek to free ride on its massive investment in journalism. Condé Nast previously sent a cease and desist to Perplexity to demand that it stop using its publication articles. Yet it actually owns now Reddit, which is selling the work product of all of its users. Good God. It's just kind of gross. Anyway, News Corp is asking the court to prohibit Perplexity from using its publication's content without permission. And it's also asking for damages up to $150,000 for each incident of copyright infringement. Yeah, that is all Millennium Copyright Act stuff that is so punitive to everyday users that it was written and endorsed by a rich elite, because the people that are using that were sharing music and books and stuff like that, they were either never going to purchase. Thus, it was more like marketing. The first one's free kind of a thing. People were sharing music and people were getting rounded up and sued for millions of dollars because this. But when a company violates this shit, it gets argued, and the profits that they benefit from the abuse that they commit pales in comparison. I mean, the profits they get outweighs the punishment, right? It's just ridiculous. And they don't admit any wrongdoing. Meanwhile, there are people that are sued into oblivion. All of that shit should be set aside. But I don't even know what the status of all of those people are. It's just ridiculous, though. $150,000 for each incident. Anyway, that's it for the time machine episode of Non Sequitur News. And so with that in mind, we're going to reboot, and that'll bring us back to the front page of ohmtown.com, where you can go and visit, become a citizen. It's really easy. It's just a couple of fields you fill out. We have no ads on the site anymore. And you won't get emails and stuff other than from the other services that you subscribe to. So Twitch will email you when I go live. It'll notify you, as will YouTube. Patreon will mail you stuff when I post over there. But nothing will come from ohmtown unless you make a request, like getting in contact with mayor at ohmtown.com, or you sign up, or you reset your password or something like that. But anyway, that's it. We'll see you later. Oh, I need to do this. Bye.